Tonight, Bowen fishermen march against Abbott Point. A three-car collision blocks the Brough highway. Anger over a townhouse development and the new technology diagnosing blindness in babies.
Across Mackay, the Whitsundays and the coalfields with Brough. This is 7 Local News.
Good evening. Thanks very much for joining us. Well, residents from Bowen and Hay Point have joined members of the Mackay Conservation Group to present a petition to local politicians opposing offshore dumping of dredged spoil. The federal government is expected to make a decision on a location in the coming months.
Environmental advocates changed their tune for this rally. Today, the group handed up a petition with more than 600 signatures to Labor candidate for Dawson, Bronwyn Taha, and sitting member George Christensen.
People are united in the fact that we don't want to have our ocean polluted by dumped dredge spoil from Abbott Point.
Some Bowen residents fear if the coal terminal expansion goes ahead, 14 million cubic metres of spoil will be dumped offshore, which they say could destroy the local fishing industry.
It's very important. It's a $30 million industry that brings jobs.
And then the seagrass beds that will be wrecked.
Mr Christensen says all parties, including the fishermen, are being consulted.
The original proposal was to dump it off Holborn Island, and I was against that from the very start. And, North Queensland bulk ports have turned around and said, well, we're not going to put it there because it would have an impact.
An exact location for the dredge spoil is still being reviewed by the Federal Environment Minister. A decision is expected in the coming months. Until then, some say they're willing to put their bodies on the line to get their message across. Olivia Reid, 7 News.
A 40-year-old man had to be cut from a truck after a 3-vehicle collision on the Brough highway just north of Serena this afternoon. 7 people were taken to Mackay Base Hospital with minor injuries. 2 vehicles ended up down an embankment. One spilled its load of tomatoes.
Preliminary investigations suggest that the truck and the utility have collided, and the sedan is subsidiary to that actual accident.
The highway was closed for 2 hours. Well, police have identified the body of a Whitsunday tour boat crew member found near Hook Island on Monday. They're still investigating the cause of the man's death, but they aren't treating it as suspicious. It's believed 25-year-old Kieran Brown left his group and travelled on a smaller boat towards Hook Island at around 1 a.m. on Monday. Crew members found his body hours later. Police say the man was originally from interstate, but had been living in Cannon Vale for the past few years. A group of Rural View residents say they're devastated by Mackay Regional Council's approval of a townhouse development near their homes. The number of homes in the street is now expected to increase by more than 30%.
Webb Court is a quiet cul-de-sac, but that's soon expected to change. A new townhouse development was today approved by councillors, leaving residents worried their living conditions will be impacted.
Well, the biggest concern was the impact on our sleeping arrangements, in that the vehicles entering and exiting the properties would be turning right beside our bedroom.
This was an impact accessible application, so it meant that we got 6 submissions and a petition as well, so people were making valid comments what they thought about what might go in there and and their concerns.
Some residents say their main concern was over the number of non-compliant aspects that were found during a recent review of the application. Council says the development does meet all of the criteria.
Just because it doesn't say it's compliant, it's a very broad type document, and there are ways that can be found. If it can be made compliant, it can then be included.
Council has assured residents it will work with them to overcome other potential issues such as drainage. But some say it's too little, too late.
Very disappointed, yeah. I think everyone's absolutely shattered with it.
Olivia Reid, 7 News.
Mackay property investors will be slugged an extra $200 a year when Mackay Regional Council introduces a new rating category in next week's budget. Council says the extra charge will ease the pressure on ratepayers who live in their own homes, particularly pensioners.
We see that the statistics are the greatest relief we need to give to our community is people who are in their dwellings, whether it's a unit or a standalone house. They need the greatest rates relief we can give them.
The investor's fee has already been introduced by about 10 councils across the state, including Whitsunday and Rockhampton. Council's budget will be handed down next Thursday. Mackay Base Hospital now has cutting-edge equipment to scan babies for eye problems, commonly affecting those born prematurely. Townsville and Brisbane are the only other cities in the state to have the technology readily available.
Retinopathy can affect premature babies and can lead to retinal detachment or blindness.
It's a condition that premature babies are prone to because of the treatment that we do to keep them alive.
But the RetCam shuttle can help with early diagnosis and treatment. It takes a constant video image of the premature baby's retina. It can also take still photos at any time that can be printed out and kept with the child's medical records.
And then you can send those images off to an ophthalmologist as easy as email, and then they can review the images on the screen and give you feedback.
Mackay Base Hospital has about 20 premature babies born every year, and many babies need multiple scans. Having this machine on site will mean more babies can be treated locally without having to travel across the state for specialist care. It was paid for by the Flagon and Dragon Club.
To get a donation like this of almost $100,000 to purchase such a state-of-the-art piece of equipment, it's just fantastic, and it really helps us to do our role in supporting public hospitals in the region.
Flagon and Dragon has been raising funds for paediatric equipment at the Mackay Base Hospital for more than 20 years.
Kids are an easy charity to really support, aren't they? Sick kids, and to be able to do something that's going to make our local kids be in a better position than a lot of kids in regional Australia makes it all worthwhile.
Simon Nichols, 7 News.
Croc handlers fear the spread of cane toads could have an impact on one of the region's most dangerous reptiles. Researchers have found that large numbers of crocs are dying from toxic tucker.
This is how a cane toad kills, and it's a squirt that packs some punch.
This is the poison that makes the crocodile sick.
Researchers have found some crocodiles are being wiped out by the pests in some parts of the Northern Territory as the toads invade the region.
Suddenly you get this massive influx of amphibians, and as a naive crocodile you're going to start noshing into them.
The reptiles killed are called dwarf crocs and are much smaller than a regular salty. But it's feared the cane toads, which were introduced in Queensland decades ago, could pose a threat to the young of bigger reptiles.
But the larger freshwater crocodile populations, where the freshies get up to 3 metres in size, they've seen declines of 70 to 80%.
Croc handlers say saltwater crocodiles are tough, and it's not uncommon to see one make a meal of a toad.
I've seen that sucker eat 3 toads, one of which was like the mother of all toads. And he ate it. I thought he'd at least get a headache, you know. Nope. Still did the show at 3 o'clock.
Some other species know how to eat around the toad's poison.
They've actually learnt to invert the toads, flip them, and eviscerate, eat the internal organs, which are harmless.
Lauren Dejoux, 7 News.
James Cook University students have been told their results will be withheld until an industrial dispute between union members and management is resolved. Some students were sent an email from their lecturer explaining the decision. Parents are not impressed.
We need to know, do we pass or do we not pass? So there's a few upset students over the whole situation. And I just think it's wrong to drag students into this.
The National Tertiary Education Union has knocked back an offer for a 2.5% pay increase, demanding 5.5% over the next 2 years. A university spokesperson has condemned the action, claiming it asked that students be left out of the dispute. Marilyn Wallman has been missing now for 41 years. However, Marilyn's loved ones have started recording their stories about her, hoping the family's younger generations will continue their fight to find out what happened to her.
14-year-old Marilyn Wallman left her Imeo home on her bicycle about 7:30 in the morning, 21st of March 1972. Less than 10 minutes later, her bike was found on the side of Wallman Road, about 1 kilometre from her home.
It's something that we'll never stop fighting for until we find, and we being realistic, that we know we're probably only going to find Marilyn's remains now, but we need that closure.
Her brother Rex hopes audio recordings of their memories of Marilyn and that fateful day will keep the search for answers going for years to come.
The true facts about our story and about Marilyn are there for them to listen to, rather than what other people might think would happen.
With more time passing, Marilyn's family believe someone is more likely to come forward with fresh information.
The person that they knew who did it or whatever is now passed or is really old, and they're not as scared or worried about what the ramifications are anymore. So now they might come forward.
If you have any information, please contact Crime Stoppers or the Mackay Police. There's a $250,000 reward for anyone with information that leads to a conviction. Simon Nichols, 7 News.
We'll take a break in a moment. The countdown to the Festival of the Arts, and more V8 action hits the tarmac at Mackay Airport. Nice having you with us. 7 Local News. Well, race car legend Dick Johnson made a pit stop at Mackay Airport this morning, of course on his way north for the Townsville 400. Fans of all age groups came to get a photograph, maybe an autograph, and check out 2 of the supercars racing this weekend.
There was no way Dick Johnson was going to bypass Mackay. The 5-time Australian Tour Car champion and 3-time Bathurst winner is still all about the fans.
Mackay's one of those areas which have got a lot of V8 fans, and I'm sure that a lot of them will be travelling to Townsville on the weekend to have a look at the race, because it's a pretty big thing to bring something like this to North Queensland.
He flew in with his son Steve and 2 of his team's drivers, Chaz Mostert and Tim Blanchard, to answer some of the fans' questions.
Everyone's pretty nice up here, so they haven't requested anything too naughty yet, so it's pretty good.
Especially now, because of the age that I am, they all come up and say, oh, my mum used to love you, or my dad used to love you, or something like that.
It's Tim Blanchard's first time in the city.
It's a great opportunity to get out to Mackay, because it's not we don't have a race meeting here, but lots of passionate fans here, so it's good to get here.
For the next 3 days, all focus will be on this weekend's racing. The Townsville 400 is one of the team's most popular meets of the year.
And the crowd gets a real good look at the V8s, jumping the curbs and things like that, so it's fully action-packed, I can assure you.
It's a round I look forward to every year, and in terms of atmosphere, it's probably right up there with Clipsal and Bathurst, is one of the best. So,
Simon Nichols, 7 News.
Dick, looking good, mate. Now, the Festival of Arts is on again, offering Mackay residents and its visitors 16 days of culture and entertainment. This year, the theme ties in with the 150th anniversary of the South Sea Islanders.
Mackay's Festival of Arts has waged a battle with Mother Nature the past 2 years, but organisers are determined this year luck will be on their side.
We're going to have beautiful weather all through the festival.
Some of its major events are outdoors, including its opening night, a celebration of the South Sea Islander community.
And they came from an island home. We live on an island home, and that's why it's there.
The popular classical in the cane fields is also on Saturday.
We're bringing out the Gregorian brothers. Slava is one of the top 10 classical guitarists in Australia. His brother Leonard. We'll have Guitar Trek from Canberra, the Underground Opera from Brisbane.
Last year, more than 800 people attended the event, even witnessing violinists playing from mid-air.
For anybody that appreciates fine musicians, I'm sure they'll be astounded and amazed, and they'll enjoy a great night out in somewhere, a different picturesque location, which we have at the beautiful Greenmount Homestead.
The Food and Wine Festival will close the celebration and is expected to be the most popular event.
Like last year, about a quarter of the town turned up.
Organisers say the ticket sales have been okay, but would love to see them pick up.
Mackay's renowned for last-minute sales in a lot of things, as with football coming up and all sorts of things. I'm sure things will come together.
Anita Theodoro, 7 News.
Mackay Regional Council is urging people not to leave buying tickets to this weekend's NRL game to the last minute. Virgin Australia Stadium will host, of course, the Canterbury Bulldogs clash against the Newcastle Knights on Sunday afternoon. Now, Council has also negotiated with the NRL that for the first time, people under 18 will be able to attend the event without adult supervision.
There is an area set aside on the far side of the field for alcohol-free zone for those particular people.
Tickets are still available at the Mac. The Cutters will go head-to-head with Northern Pride. That'll be a terrific curtain raiser. Kick-off for the major game, of course, 3 p.m. OK, Laura, sport now. More accolades for our meteorettes.
Yes, that's right, Broughy. One of Mackay's stars was named the State Basketball Player of the Round. We'll have more next. Plus, the Cutters and Pride prepare for a crucial Q Cup clash.
After the local news, desperate attempts to save a pod of killer whales stranded on a sandbar off Fraser Island. The latest tonight live on the rescue efforts and how it happened. A father in court charged with making his 7-year-old son drive a car on the Gold Coast while the man was drunk. We'll have those stories and more tonight on 7 News.
What would you change if you won 10 million this Thursday? Powerball, the power to change it all. Grab an entry in-store or buy online.
RACQ CQ Rescue, your lifeline when you need it most. In 1994, a group of business people in Mackay came together to establish a Mackay-based helicopter rescue service. Within 2 years, sponsors were sourced and the community provided generous funding to enable the first flight in September 1996. RACQ CQ Rescue is working its way towards 6,000 missions and continues to save countless lives. To our patients, best wishes. To our supporters, thank you. This message is proudly brought to you by these corporate partners.
Cannonball Marine is celebrating 40 years, so we're giving away a Quintrex 420 Buster with Everroot E-Tech outboard valued at over 13 grand. Just spend $50 for your chance to win. Drawn Saturday, July 13 at Cannonball Marine Boat Show and Open Day with over 20 boats on display plus giveaways and entertainment. See you there.
Black's Real Estate, the trusted name in real estate in Mackay.
Our property managers will take care of your investment property like it's our own. Call now for an appraisal.
Black's Real Estate.
Australia, every time you want beautiful, tender beef like the beef a chef cooks, you want Coles Aussie beef.
With no added hormones.
Every time you want delicious pork like the pork a chef cooks, you'll want Coles Aussie pork.
All South Store free.
Remember, it's 100% Aussie and it's all from Coles. In fact, every time you want any meat, like the meat a chef cooks, remember, shop where a chef shops for meat. Coles!
Ta-da!
Tonight's Sport Report brought to you by Black's Real Estate, Mackay.
You're with 7 Local News. Cowboys and Maroons playmaker Jonathan Thurston has attributed his form reversal to fatherhood. North Queensland's co-captain says being a father has helped relax him on field.
Jonathan Thurston's finally back in the driver's seat. Rugby League's best, eclipsing one of the V8's top guns.
He looked very inexperienced on that track, so I might have to give him a few tips.
But it's his family focus that's helped JT rediscover his magic touch.
Being a father, you know, puts a lot of things into perspective. You know, some of the things that you used to worry about, especially footy, you don't even think a second about.
A Zen state the rest of the team may need to embrace when they head to the nation's capital.
I don't think they've lost at that stadium, so it'll be a tough ask for us, but, you know, we're playing pretty good football.
After nursing a constant hooker headache earlier in the season, Ray Thompson appears to be the man to ease the Cowboys' aches.
He's been a big reason why we've gone as well as we have the last few weeks. He gets out, he plays square, he's quick, he knows when to run.
Naturally, he's just good, and he's good for the team. He talks and he's fit.
Thompson's growing in confidence, but knows there's still work to be done.
Being a small guy, I'm always working on my defence and stuff, and just service out of there, just, you know, trying to be a bit more reliable than I was.
Veronica Eggleton, 7 News.
The Cutters are looking forward to playing in front of a big crowd on Sunday with their Q Cup match, the curtain raiser to Mackay's NRL game between the Bulldogs and Knights. The home side have a tough task, though, as they try to take down the high-flying Northern Pride.
The Pride are on a 7-game winning streak and nobody wants to end it more than the Cutters. Sunday's showdown is perfect timing.
Rivalry round for us, obviously no bigger rivalry for us than the Northern Pride, and they're high flying at the moment, so that adds a bit of spice to the event.
The battle between opposing Cowboys will bring out the best in both sides, while the league leaders know a loss will bring them back to the chasing pack. One of those hunting them down is the Cutters, who are 5 points behind their opponents.
They're still in third position, and a win against us puts them right in the mix for the top spot again.
The Northerners have the wood on Mackay, holding a 9-2 winning record over their rivals, including a 32-point thrashing in the opening round. but the Cutters have proved they're a different side from the team caned in Cairns.
We've got a real mental toughness about us here. That'll hopefully carry us through a long way in this season.
And this time they'll be at home in front of what's expected to be huge local support, with Mackay's second NRL fixture following the Q Cup clash.
You know, we've been drawing some good crowds this year, but for a game like this, you'd expect our early crowd to probably double.
The match will kick off at 12:30. Nathan Ferguson, 7 News.
Kayla Standish has won her second Player of the Round award after her outstanding performances against Bundaberg and Gladstone in the Meteorette State Basketball doubleheader. She delivered 16 points and 11 rebounds against Bundaberg before proving the difference in Mackay's win over the Power. The 23-year-old scored 25 points as well as managing 3 assists and 8 rebounds.
She can pass like a guard, and obviously she's a post and can get in there and score and step out and shoot mid-range, so I think she's a pretty complete player.
The Meteorettes have now claimed 4 Player of the Week awards, with Rachel Allison also earning the honour twice. Lots of talent there, Rob.
Pretty handy stats, aren't they? Good on you, Laura. Thanks very much. Weather details in a moment. Liv will join us soon here on 7.
Djokovic clashes with the man who took down our Tomic, Thomas Berdych, in a quarter-final showdown. Wimbledon, live tonight on 2.
Get ready for more savings at Woolworths with extra specials. That's more savings on hundreds of brands when you scan your Everyday Rewards card. Like Kirk's 1.25 litre, extra special price $1.20, save 35 cents. Sign up for your free card today. Head in store or online. Just another way we give you more savings every day. Have you been pigging out again?
Knowing the local news is essential. The Daily Mercury, now with new sections, features and formats.
It's a baby bonanza this month at AFS Friendly Care Pharmacy. S26 Gold Newborn in Progress 900 gram for just $21.95, plus a bonus nightlight. Snugglers nappies in assorted sizes, just $18.95. Huggies Baby Wipes 240 pack, only $12.99. Johnson's Baby Powder 400 gram for a little $2.95. Bepanthen Antiseptic Cream 100 gram at a special price of $9.95.
There for you for life.
Easy Vehicle Rentals offer a variety of vehicles for the retail and commercial markets and provide ready-to-go vehicles for mining and allied industries. Easy Mechanical operates a fully equipped workshop for all makes and models, specialising in Toyota four-wheel drives and light vehicle mine fit-outs. Easy Mechanical Towing is an efficient, hassle-free service to the public, corporate and trade clients.
With the deal to start with Easy Group, I give you my personal guarantee of satisfaction.
Think smart. Go easy.
It's been years since I've seen my little Sal. I watched her grow up from a little kid. I've been waiting for the day she'd come home. But you've got to wonder, why now? What's happened?
This weather report brought to you by Gemini Homes.
Good evening, Livio, Regano with tonight's weather. Well, after a cool start, it did warm up to be a glorious winter's day right across the state. Temperatures were above the maximum July average by a few degrees in most places. The mercury reached a top of 22 in Mackay today. Claremont dropped to a very cool low of 3, but recovered fairly quickly to a top of around 25 degrees. Looking at the satellite loop, you can see there's really no threat of storm cloud anymore. The big low pressure system has gone a long way out to sea, not really threatening the coastline anymore. Just a few little filaments of cloud along the east coast where showers have been falling, but not very many of those. There may be a couple more over coming days though. On today's chart, no more sign of the low. In fact, it's moved north since yesterday and weakened. It wasn't really meant to do that, but either way, it's quite a long way from the coast. We've cancelled all the wind warnings along the east coast. The winds are still fresh over southern waters and there's still a 2.5 metre swell. Still quite dry and cool in the tropics. On tomorrow's chart, the high moves a little bit further east. A new one comes to the west. We've got a trough developing inland and some cloud will be coming with that, but basically just an onshore stream with a few very light showers affecting the whole east coast, but mostly fine weather predominating. And now the Bureau's forecast. In coastal waters from Bowen to St Lawrence, southeasterly winds up to 20 knots expected for tomorrow, easing to 10 to 15 knots around midday with seas around 1.7 metres. Tomorrow's high tides, Mackay around 8:34 a.m, Hay Point and Shute Harbour, both just a few minutes earlier. Now the Central Coast and Whitsundays, the odd showers expected throughout the region tomorrow, along with some early morning drizzle for those inland. And Friday and Saturday should be mostly fine despite a few sprinkles. Central Highlands and coalfields in for a potentially drizzly start tomorrow with some isolated showers on the forecast for the afternoon. Days ahead looking fairly similar. Temperatures for tomorrow, Bowen 25 degrees, the top, Mackay 14 to 23, Claremont 24, Moranbah 25. And the Mackay City forecast mostly fine with a possible shower tomorrow. Outlook is for temperatures around the mid-20s. Question from the Dory family. How is wind created? This is possibly the oldest question known to man. Well, the sun causes all our wind and weather because it heats the earth unevenly, and the wind is just air rushing around the globe trying to even out the temperature imbalances. The summer sea breeze is a great example. The sun cooks the land until huge bubbles of hot air start to rise, leaving behind a void that's quickly filled by a cool rush of wind from the ocean. It's the uneven heating of land and sea that keeps the wind blowing. And that's the short answer, my friends. Hope you like it. See you tomorrow, same time, same channel.
Good on you, Liv. Thanks very much, mate. And it's always lovely having your company. Our email, localnews@7.com.au. And of course, we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Good night.